Pixar Fest arrives next Friday in just over a week on April 26th. But what is it? What is Pixar Fest? Well, we're going to show you. We'll go to Fantasyland for a new event, taking over the Fantasyland Theater. We'll go to Main Street and preview the new fireworks show. We've actually got video that we can show you. We'll go to DCA to preview the new parade, and to the Hollywood backlot for Club Pixar. You think this could be anything like the Mad Tea Party? I don't know. We'll find out. We'll tell you where and when, all coming up next. There was a Pixar Fest way back in 2018. It was kind of exciting. There's new fireworks, new food, obviously. They even brought the parade over to Disneyland, which was interesting. But just like Season of the Force that debuted for a year like 10 years ago, we never saw it again. But neither have we seen Pixar Fest, not since 2018. Now, my recollection says that it was kind of an okay event, nothing too memorable, which is probably the reason why they didn't bring it back. But I'm excited for the 2024 edition of Pixar Fest for a couple of reasons. Maybe mostly because of the food, which, speaking of which, do watch our foodie guide. We did a review of the foodie guide on our sister channel, Fresh Bake Presents. Just published that this morning. Check that out. We'll refer to that again later on. That could be the main reason. I'm excited for this year's event because back in 2018, we didn't have to pay for special events like this. Not like we do today for the After Dark events like Star Wars Night or Throwback Night or Disney Channel Night. So today, guests are somewhat starving for non-standard Disneyland days. They want to have some kind of event here. It's the reason why guests are drawn to Food and Wine Festival, Star Wars Day or Easter, Christmas, Halloween, you name it. People want to get some kind of non-standard day. So there is some anticipation, some excitement for this year's Pixar Fest. So it's great that we've got a non-paid event, an event that you can come to Disneyland and choose to participate in or not. But if you do choose to participate in Pixar Fest and want to know more, stay tuned, because that's what we're talking about today. As such, let's go to Fantasyland for our first stop. We've arrived at Fantasyland Theater, previously the home of Videopolis, Mickey and the Magical Map. Most recently, it's been the home of The Tale of the Lion King. That show has ended to make way for the Pixar Playtime event that's being held here at the Fantasyland Theater. Looks so like this is going to be something more similar to a Tomorrowland dance party than Videopolis, more geared towards kids. Daytime only. It's going to be open from 11:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Judging by the concept art, dance party of some kind. You're gonna have characters up on the stage. They've removed the front row of seats that you would have normally have found here at the Fantasyland Theater. I'm seeing some picture opportunities here. A very light event, doesn't look too detailed. As I mentioned, something closer to a Tomorrowland dance party than Videopolis or even Mad Tea Party. There will be food as well, but not downstairs on the stage floor, but at the Troubadour Tavern. Actually, it's one of the more interesting locations for new food this year for Pixar Fest. Again, refer to our Pixar Fest foodie guide video where we talk about that, but suffice it to say, some of the most interesting stuff you can get at Pixar Fest will be here at the Troubadour Tavern. Let's head back to Main Street to talk about new fireworks. Together Forever. That's the new fireworks show being planned for Pixar Fest. Though it's not entirely new, it is the same, more or less, show that they did back in 2018 with Pixar Fest. There will be some new scenes added. Scenes featuring Coco, Toy Story, Inside Out, and Incredibles. If I recall correctly, there was also the house from Up that would float across the wires there, just like Tinkerbell. I'd imagine that's coming back too. That show is going to start at its usual 9:30 time, though it doesn't look like it's going to be appearing nightly. The calendar right now is showing on certain weeknights that Mickey's Mixed Magic is playing. I don't know if that's official or final or not. It could be the case that they haven't updated the schedule. I can say for sure, though, that there will not be pyro every single night. They will be keeping up with the usual routine of having pyro on weekends only. So they'll just do projections and the music, etc. on those weeknights where there wouldn't normally be pyro. We talked about food earlier at Troubadour Tavern. Pixar Fest is going to have a ton of new food. On our way down Main Street, I will let you guys know that there will be food all over the Disneyland Resort, including at Disneyland, not just DCA. Alien Pizza Planet, Cafe Orleans, Carnation Cafe, Gibson Girl, Jolly Holiday, Plaza Inn, Rancho del Zocalo, Red Rose Tavern, Refreshment Corner, Stage Door Cafe, Tropical Hideaway, Troubadour Tavern, and even some churros. All of those locations just mentioned will have some kind of Pixar Fest themed food, and I am here for it. One thing though that I'm not particularly here for on our way down Main Street and heading into DCA is this. This monstrosity will be appearing at the top of Town Square, where you might normally find a Christmas tree or a winking Mickey pumpkin. For Pixar Fest, we're getting this thing, and I just honestly, there's no way that I can disguise or hide my disdain for whatever it is that this thing is supposed to be. But there you go, Pixar Fest does come included with decorations throughout the park, obviously, like we've seen already with the medallions and the banners and more. But it's really this thing that I'm really concerned about, but I'm gonna hope for the best, I guess. With that, let's go ahead and make our way over to California Adventure. We'll go through the Esplanade and check out what's happening also at DCA, a place where some consider to be the home of Pixar. If they're having a Pixar party, you can bet there'll be something happening at California Adventure. And it looks like since our last visit to Disneyland, they have updated the banners out here in the Esplanade to Pixar Fest themed banners. These I like, these are good out here in the Esplanade. I'm totally good with that. And I do have to confess, I have no idea what they're doing here at the center of the Esplanade. Normally the only time they ever cover this up is if it's raining and they don't want people to slip on that centered medallion thing. But this is definitely gonna be something Pixar Fest related. Have not seen any concept art for this. Maybe if we're lucky, that's where they put that other decorative thing that they had originally planned for the top of Town Square. One can only hope. Let's go to California Adventure. We get a little serenade from the Five and Dime as we make our way down Hollywood Boulevard to talk about the first event, one that is actually really interesting at DCA. It's talk about things that haven't happened for a while. A party in the backlot. Remember those days? The backlot, currently home to Food and Wine Festival, but back in the day, there was a time when they did some really good partying back here. You had Electronica, and you had the Mad Tea Party. These were some amazing events. They disappeared for quite a long time, and now we're getting something that could resemble a show like that. Club Pixar is going to be debuting on August 26th as well here in the backlot. And I'm just looking at the website and you know how they describe it. Club Pixar, while it's more of an adult-oriented event than, let's say, the Pixar Playtime show that they're doing at the Fantasyland Theater, I don't think it gets all the way towards Mad Tea Party levels. It doesn't go late into the evening. In fact, the hours are just from 4:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. There will be a DJ dance party, live performances, there'll be games, there'll be photo ops, obviously themed food, of course. By the way, don't sleep on the studio catering truck. I've mentioned this before. They're gonna have some good food here for that event, trust me on that. Craft beverages, naturally, because we are in the back lot. I mean, this place, when it comes to craft beverages and food, this place knows how to party, that's for sure. Interestingly, they also mentioned a drive-in theater showing Pixar shorts. A drive-in theater? What do you suppose that could mean? Like cars you could sit in and watch a movie like you were at a drive-in? Because that would be amazing. That would draw quite a crowd. I'm going to assume it's going to be in one of the stages, most likely stage 12. In fact, as I look at stage 12 right now, they've cleared out all of the couches and chairs that they normally have out there for lounging. In fact, there's also a little threshold set up, a marquee that looks like something that you would walk through. They're going to light it up, decorate it or whatever. Kind of like what they did for Flynn's Arcade. That's my expectation. And that conversation has drifted me over to Mission Breakout. Heading in this direction, we are now looking at what would be the end, the finale of the parade route here at DCA. Parades would end here. Well, actually, if they're running 2 parades, it would begin here and then head back towards the Paradise Garden Grill. Excellent time to mention Better Together. That's the new parade for Pixar Fest. I want to say it's the Pixar Play Parade, but Disney isn't saying that, so I have to assume that it's not the same parade that we had back in the day here at DCA on a daily basis. But I would be very surprised if at least some of those floats were not represented in this parade. There are, though, they are talking about 3 new floats, and the fact that they are indicating that these are new does suggest they will be borrowing from Pixar Play Parade. But we're going to get floats for Turning Red, floats for Soul, and a float for Luca. That parade will run twice daily, 4 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. and it'll run, as I mentioned. Hey, how are you guys? It'll run, as I mentioned, from over there by Mission Breakout all the way to Paradise Garden Grill. That's the parade route. Let me go ahead and add here that I wouldn't necessarily feel too compelled to plan too far ahead for this parade. I mean, it will be busier than we normally would see for, let's say, the Pixar Play Parade back in the day. But still, there's lots of viewing areas for this. The ones that I would recommend, the ones that allow you the most comfort and are the easiest to get to, are those spots in front of Little Mermaid, in the Golden Zephyr along that route there. Probably the more difficult, more crowded places to stand and wait would be along that corridor in front of the Blue Sky Cellar, Avengers Campus, that kind of thing. That's usually the most uncomfortable way to catch that show. And right here on Hollywood Boulevard isn't too bad either. This is something that I'm actually really looking forward to because unlike the majority of guests who are familiar or were familiar with the Pixar Play Parade from back in the day, I rather liked it. It wasn't my favorite parade of all time, obviously, but I enjoyed it more than the average person would, but I'm also kind of a nerd for Pixar films, so that might have something to do with it. So I do have some excitement and some anticipation for the Better Together. Is that right? Better Together? Although I haven't seen Luca yet, so maybe I should do that before the Pixar Fest begins. Stopped here on the boardwalk at DCA. They're testing ride vehicles for the Incredicoaster, which is good news for those of you looking forward to taking advantage of some Pixar-themed attractions. Obviously, anything here on the boardwalk will work. Incredicoaster, Toy Story Midway Mania, the Pixar Pal Around, Emotional Whirlwind, all great. And of course, Monsters Inc. here at DCA. Then over at Disneyland, you got Buzz Lightyear, Astro Blasters, and Finding Nemo. Make a day of it. Hit all the Pixar-themed attractions. I gave you the rundown on Pixar-themed food being served around the park at Disneyland. Same is true here, of course, at DCA, including the marketplaces. This is fascinating. They're going to do like a food and wine style type event here at DCA. These are all arriving on May 10th, though. Not April 26th, but May 10th. By the way, again, watch the Foodie Guide review that we did on Fresh Baked Presents. We're going to cover all of this in detail. But those Pixar Fest marketplaces include 4 town favorites, the Spark, inspired by Soul. Love it. Cousteau's to Go, obviously Ratatouille, and the Porto Rosso Pasta, inspired by Luca. Oh, there's one more. Ooh, I'm looking forward to this one. This one's exciting. The Elemental Table, inspired by Elemental. They're going to give you the coal nut. I want to try one of those, maybe more than one. In addition to the marketplaces, you can find Pixar-themed food at Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta, Cozy Cone Motel, Clarabelle's, Flo's V8 Cafe, the Hollywood Lounge, aka, or also I should include Studio Catering Truck, Jack Jack Nom Nom Cookies, Lamplight Lounge, Magic Key Terrace, Paradise Garden Grill, Schmoozies, Smoke Jumpers, Sonoma Terrace, and of course, churros. Oh, I almost forgot, characters. Obviously, you're going to be able to meet Pixar-themed characters here at DCA. They have specified on the website characters here at Incredibles Park, the Toy Story Boardwalk, and of course the Pixar Promenade. I'm sure there'll be other characters to be found elsewhere around here. Grizzly Peak, for example, you can often find Doug. Disneyland, I'm sure, will probably have some kind of characters, I guess. Yeah, I see Woody and Jessie in Frontierland, but they weren't mentioned specifically on the Pixar Fest website, but those 3 locations are places where you're definitely going to find characters here at DCA. So that's our preview of Pixar Fest 2024. Cautiously optimistic. Well, you know what? It's just going to be a good time no matter what. There's going to be some unique stuff happening, unique foods. It's a special event. I'm looking forward to. Stay tuned to Fresh Bake for full coverage. We're going to be doing this on opening day. We're going to cover as much as possible. We're going to try to do all the food if we can. Maybe not on the first day, definitely not on the first day, but over the course of the next week or two, or the first week or two of the event, stay tuned for a video where we will review all that food. And then, of course, if you enjoy this show and want to show your support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/freshbake. Follow us on Instagram at _freshbake, on Twitter at freshbakedisney, that's fresh with no E, and on TikTok at freshbakedisney. If you like our show, oops, I'm still doing that old routine, that old bit. Otherwise, thanks for watching, everybody. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Fresh Bake. You know, I noticed that the foodie guy didn't even mention places like adorable snowman. Yeah, get yourself a Pixar Pier Parfait. Or Senior Buzz Churros, the Red Hot churro. Those are great. Angry Dogs, let's go.